Hope y'all didn't hear that person sneezing all loud in the background. I gotta close my window. Okay. Dang. About to die. Peace, mommies. Peace, family. Thank you for tuning into my video. I am Crystal Divine, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about birth plans. Yay! Birth plans, okay? Now, I made a video months ago about birth plans, and it was a real brief video because I just wanted to give a brief overview about what a birth plan is, okay? So for those of you who do not know what birth plans are, do not feel ashamed, because once upon a time I did not know what they were either, okay? I will put the link to that video in my description box below. Make sure that you check it out, or even if you just want to familiarize yourself or get some clarification on a birth plan, definitely check that video out, okay? I also want to say welcome back to my loyal subscribers, okay? We are almost at 100 subscribers, and I'm gonna do something real special for you guys when we get to 100 subscribers, okay? So stay tuned, don't unsubscribe, okay? And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and take the time to hit that button. I think it's gonna be down here. Hit the button and subscribe to my channel, and go ahead and like it and get it out the way, because you're gonna like this video, okay? Thank you. Okay, in this video I'm going to focus on the 3 phases of a birth plan, okay? There's 3 phases or stages. You'll hear me say both of those words in this video. You have arrival, you have labor, and you also have afterbirth, okay? So when you're creating a birth plan, you break it down into those 3 phases. Now, before you even get started on making a birth plan, I always recommend that you get you a journal. Get you a pregnancy journal. From the moment you find out that you're pregnant, get you a journal and just start writing down everything about your pregnancy, okay? And what I mean is, write down how you're feeling. This is a journal, not a log, okay? This is a journal. Write down how you're feeling. Write down what your baby is making you feel, what thoughts you have about your baby. Write down what you see your labor being like, how you see your pregnancy playing out, any difficulties that you are going through, pains that you may be feeling, joys that you may be feeling, okay? Those type of things. Write a diary, keep that journal about your pregnancy, okay? And while you are pregnant, you can also research things, or just write down your ideas like, I know someone who had a home birth, or I talked to someone today who had a water birth and it was very interesting, and I started to do some research and I found out blah 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 blah. Okay, keep your journal, because when it's time to start making your birth plan, you'll be able to have a reference of the things that you like, the things that you want, and you won't forget anything, okay? So always start out with a journal, and then towards your end of your pregnancy, it'll be time for you to start conjuring up that birth plan, okay? And you won't have to stress out or worry about remembering everything, because you got your journal right there. Now I want to share with you guys one of my favorite quotes about a birth plan, okay? I love this quote because it is just so true, okay? Here it is. The power of a birth plan isn't the actual plan. It is the process of becoming educated about all of your options. Can I get a amen? Yes. The power of a birth plan is not the actual plan. It is the process of being educated or becoming educated of all of your options. Birth plan, main purpose, gain control, maintain control of your birth experience. But in the process of creating that birth plan, you are educating yourself on the process of childbirth. And that's how you get to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what you want and what you don't want, okay? Research while you're pregnant, okay? Talk to other moms, okay? Get on YouTube, watch some other videos, listen to some birth and delivery stories, find out as much information as you can about the process, especially if you know what type of birth you're going to have. Like, for instance, if you're going to have a hospital birth, find out as much as possible as you can about how hospital births operate. If you're going to do it in a birth center, same thing. If you're going to do it at home, same thing. And then over time, when it's the end of your pregnancy, it's time for you to conjure up that birth plan again. You got your reference because you kept your journal and you have written down all of your thoughts and ideas and feelings about childbirth, and you'll have a clear picture in your mind of what type of birth experience you want, and you can make your plan, and then you can use that plan to maintain control of your birth experience, okay? And of course, you know, discuss with your partner or whomever else will be involved or has a say-so in your life about your birth experience, okay? You know, include them too. Don't forget about daddy, okay? So we've done all that. Now we're ready to create our birth plan. So the first thing we're going to start with is arrival. Excuse me. The things that you need to consider about arrival. When do you want to go to the hospital? Are you going to base that on when you're a certain amount of centimeters dilated? Are you going to go with pain? Are you going to go right away? Are you going to wait it out as long as you can? You know, those are things that you want to already know in advance. You want to already have that planned out. If you are planning on having a natural birth, I will say that if you're going to give birth in a hospital and you're going to have a natural birth, I will say that you should wait at home as long as possible before admitting yourself to the hospital, just so that the process can be real quick and you don't have to worry about being pressured so much of the medical interventions that they have to offer. Of course, if you're going to be staying at home and having a home birth, you don't really have to focus too much on arrival because you've already arrived. Hopefully you'll already be at home when your labor begins. But if you are going to a hospital or birthing center, then you want to write down the people who will be involved. You know, is dad going to be there? Is mom and grandma and sister and auntie going to be there? Are you going to have children there? Do you want your children to be present? You know, who's all going to arrive with you to the hospital, and where are they going to fit? Are they arriving to sit in the waiting room, or are they arriving to go back there with you? So those are just some things that you have to consider when it comes to arrival. Also, once you arrive to the hospital, you want to go ahead and make it known what type of birth experience you're going to have. Whether they already have your birth plan in advance, you've given it to them or not, you know, you give it to them, but you also want to be verbal too, because they're going to go ahead and go in with their standard procedures. So you have to let it be known, you know, what you want, what you don't want, what you expect, what you don't expect upon arrival. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next phase of a birth plan, and that is labor. Okay, I don't want to spend too long on arrival, but you kind of get the idea. So the next phase is the labor phase, okay? And the labor phase is the main event, okay? This is when it goes down. You are already checked into the hospital. You have made it upstairs or down the hall into the delivery room. You're in the room now. You're ready. Consider how your pregnancy has been thus far. When you are making this part of your birth plan, consider how your pregnancy has been thus far. Have you had complications? Okay, if you have had complications, what are you going to need to make sure that no further complications occur? Okay, medicines, tools, support. You know, are you going to be providing that, or are there things that you want them to provide? Are there things that they provide that you don't want them to utilize for your birth experience? Okay, all of this goes into labor. Medical interventions. How do you feel about medical interventions? This includes IVs. This includes epidurals, pitocin, vacuums, forceps. How do you feel about mobile during your pregnancy? You know, do you want to be hooked up to the fetal monitoring machines? What are your thoughts on the pain and the levels of pain? How do you plan on to relieve yourself from pain? Are you going to use medicines and medical interventions, or are you not? If you're not, what type of techniques are you going to utilize? What do you need? Do you need a bathtub readily available, or a shower, or the bouncing ball? There's so much stuff to consider during labor, and I barely just scratched the surface. So that's why it's important to use your time wisely while you're pregnant, you know, and don't wait till the last minute to try to make a birth plan, because you will be overwhelmed. I'm telling you, you'll be overwhelmed. Okay? You also need to include your feelings about C-sections, or maybe your VBAC, vaginal birth after a cesarean birth. There's just so much to consider, okay guys? So labor is very, very important, but do your research and journal along the way of your pregnancy what you want and what you don't want and what you would like to happen, and be flexible and keep an open mind and have a plan B in case plan A doesn't go how you want it to go, because birth is unpredictable. Okay, now I'm going to move into the final phase of a birth plan, and it is the afterbirth. The final afterbirth is something that a lot of us totally neglect. After we push that baby out, we kind of think that it's over, and it's not over. Birth is still going on, okay? You have to push out your placenta. If you prefer to have a natural birth, are you going to be okay with drugs after the baby is pushed out? Because sometimes they'll like to offer you pitocin, I think, when it's time to push the placenta out. I'm getting overexcited here. Tearing, ladies. This is something that we really don't talk about or think about until the heat of the moment as well. You know, how do you feel about tearing and being stitched up afterwards? You know, something that a lot of us do not know is that when we push the placenta out, they kind of will tug at it sometimes, and that causes tearing. We don't need to tug at the placenta. They don't need to rush our placenta to come out. Our placenta will come out on its own if we just let nature take its course. But, you know, physicians and medical teams and hospital staffs are impatient. You know, that doctor's probably got other people getting ready to go into labor at any minute, and they don't have time to wait 20-30 minutes after the baby has been born for the placenta to come out naturally. Okay, now I don't want you guys to think that the afterbirth is just about you. The afterbirth is about your baby too. Don't forget about your little one, okay? Because as soon as your little one comes out, hands are everywhere, okay? They've picked the baby up maybe before you even had a chance to touch the baby. I don't know, some people like to pull the baby out. I never got to experience that, but I would like to if I ever have any more children. Afterbirth with the baby, you know, do you want to clean your baby, or do you want the nurse to clean your baby, or do you want the baby to lay on your chest while the nurse cleans your baby, or do you want that one-on-one time for like 15-20 minutes and then the baby can be cleaned off? You know, if you having a boy, do you want your boy circumcised? Did you pay for that procedure to get done right away? And are they going to circumcise your baby in front of you, or are you going to allow them to take your baby out? Most hospitals don't do the nursery thing right now. They're pretty much room friendly, but you know, you need to research the hospital and find out what do they do, and do you want your baby to stay with you, or are you okay with them taking your baby out of the room while they do whatever it is that they do? You know, vaccines. How do you feel about vaccines? I know that they offer hepatitis B and the vitamin K, and I think they there's one other shot too, you know. Do you want your baby to have shots? I know that they draw the blood from the baby too. Are you okay with that? I don't think that's too much of a big deal. So many stuff, all the way down to a pacifier. Do you want your baby to have a pacifier? Do you want your baby to have a hospital pacifier? Because in my experience, as far as I know, that first pacifier that you give to your baby is the only type of pacifier your baby is going to want. So, hey, make sure you pick a good pacifier and not one that's going to be hard to get, you know. So, yeah, guys, that is pretty much the type of things that you have to consider with your afterbirth. How hands-on do you want people to be with your baby, and how do you want them to handle you and your placenta? You know, what are you going to do with your placenta? Oh yeah, and can't forget breastfeeding. You know, are you going to need a lactation specialist? So in conclusion, when you do create your birth plan, you want to make sure that your birth plan is 1 page long. Okay, now I know you're like, dang, how am I going to fit all this information that you just told me about into 1 page? I'm going to tell you how. Your birth plan is only supposed to be about your preferences, okay? What's understood don't need to be explained. So if you don't have certain stuff on there, then obviously that's not even an option, okay? So your preferences, your plan A's, and your backup plans in case plan A doesn't work or is no longer an option, that's all that needs to be included on your birth plan. Now I know some women out there who make birth plans that are like little pamphlets, okay? They're like 5 pages long, front and back. I just am against that because it's hard enough trying to have control of your birth experience, especially when you're in a hospital, let alone giving these doctors and these medical teams essays about your birth experience. Like, just be real with yourself. Do you really honestly think they're gonna read it? I don't. I don't. They'll shove it in a file somewhere for record, but you think that doctor has time to sit and really read your birth plan if it's 5 pages long? I mean, if you really want to keep it real, you just be grateful if he or she reads your birth plan and it's 1 page long, front side only. Okay, so I might make a video about, you know, discussing birth plans with physicians a little later, but for now, this is pretty much it. This is all I want to talk to you guys about. The 3 phases of a birth plan: the arrival, your labor, and your afterbirth. And I hope that this video was very informational, helpful. Do want to take this opportunity to tell you guys about my free ebook, okay? On my website, which will be in the description box below, you can purchase a free ebook, okay? And it's a quick start guide on creating a birth plan, okay? I basically tell you everything I just told you in this video, but more things to include in your arrival, the labor, and the afterbirth phases of childbirth, okay? So more things to consider. I just couldn't name them all because in this video probably would have been a half an hour long, and I don't really like long videos because I don't like to edit. I don't like to edit long videos. So click the link in my bio, go ahead and get you a copy. It's free. Spread the word, get you about 3 or 4 of them, send them to your friends, and learn how to create a birth plan, okay? Because everything you need to know is in my quick start guide. All right, thank you again for tuning into my video. I love you guys. Peace, mommies. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time.